Okay, so we are live. We are live.
So, hello everyone. We'll wait for 3 to 5 minutes to let everyone join and then we'll start with the session for today's evening.
Okay, I guess we are ready to start.
So, hello and welcome everyone. A very good evening to one and all present here. This is me, Pragya this side, your host for today's evening. So, today's topic of our learning session is getting started with cloud computing. So, there is a saying by Larry Ellison cloud computing is not only the future of computing, but the present and the entire past of computing. So, to let us know more of cloud computing and answering your questions on how to start with cloud computing, what is the tech stack, and the need of GDSC UCER, we have invited our esteemed guest, Sonakshi Chauhan, who is the program lead of GDSC UCER. So, handing over to Sonakshi Chauhan for today's session. Over to you, Sonakshi.
Hello, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Am I audible? Can I
Yes,
have a
you are
yes or no?
audible.
Okay, thank
You
you
are
so
audible.
much. Okay, so a very, and I guess my screen is visible too. Can I have a check on that?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Okay, cool. So a very warm welcome to one and all present here, or anyone who will be joining in future. So, talking a little bit about myself, I am Sonakshi Chauhan. I am pursuing BTech. I'm in third year. I'm from United College of Engineering and Research, Gaya branch. I'm from Computer Science branch, and I'm the cloud lead of GDSC UCER. So, today the topic we are going to have a discussion on is getting started with cloud computing. So, the series or the cloud computing modules that are going to be started from today, they are going to be started by keeping one thing in mind, that is it is beginner friendly. So like there are going to be people definitely on the other side who know a lot about cloud computing. There might be people who are learning cloud computing, and there might be absolute beginners who don't know anything about cloud computing. So this series is going to be made keeping in mind that you are a complete beginner and you don't know anything, because we take people from that first step. So this discussion that is going to take place today, that is going to be started from the basics, an introduction, and the videos that will follow in future. I hope that would be hands-on to display the different cloud platforms to you. So moving up ahead is getting started with cloud computing. Now, me as a child, let's just accept one simple fact. We all don't like to study. And I definitely was of that clan. So I always used to find out ways in which, I can find out creative things to do study. So in that journey, I came across one such method by which I follow, and before I start this session, I will press upon that. So that method of learning is from why to what to how. Because when you have your whys answered, it's very easy for you to learn and figure out your what and to continue the learning process. So before actually getting started with cloud computing and just jumping onto the main topic and telling you what is cloud computing like the old ways, I'd like to first clarify that why cloud computing? Why are me and you here today discussing this topic? Why we are dedicating this session to this topic? So to answer that question, I'll move up and ask and answer why cloud computing. So before actually getting to why cloud computing, I'd like to explain a very simple concept, that is how websites work. I agree that in the crowd there, or the people who will see this video ahead, are know how to make websites, or we definitely have a basic idea. Like we know how that works. It's the front end, it's the back end, and it's something like that. But just to have a deep dive into it, we all know that this server is actually hosted somewhere. Okay, and we the clients, we function as the web browser, and we want to get access to this server. We as a web browser, we want to get access to this server so that we can visualize the website. Okay, now as a client, we're going to use a network so that we can get to the server. Just to get your attention there, what is happening? We as a client, we are using the network to upload the data packets on the server. From the network, the data packets are routed onto the server. And from that, when the server responds, we get the message and finally we visualize the website. Now, how does a server find a client or a client finds a server? It's very simple. Like if I just tell you go randomly and find out Mr. Chauhan's house, that's going to be very difficult for you to find among the n number of houses that already exist. So each house has a separate, specific, unique address. That's the same case that is applied here. Client and server, they have specific, unique IP addresses. Yes, and IP addresses help you in locating. It's very easy for you to connect when you get real life examples. So just to give you that real life example, we all are aware of Raksha Bandhan. In Raksha Bandhan, हम लोग राखी बेचते हैं. So in that Rakhi ka packet, okay, we write the address. We as a client, we write the address of the server where we want to deliver that packet, of the place जहाँ पे हमें वो राखी डालनी है. And the medium we use, the network we use is the post office. So we posted that Rakhi into the network, that is a post office, and from that it gets delivered to the server. Okay, the server, that is that place where we wanted to deliver. Now from that server, if the cousin or the brother you send the Rakhi to is generous enough to return the gift to you, so he will flip back the cover and see your address. Yeah, this Rakhi has come from this address. Now that is your specific unique address. Now that receiver can use that IP address at the back to again route back to the network and move to the client. So that's how your websites actually function. Now, since we have talked about that, moving up ahead, हमने इतनी बात की server. ये server होता क्या है? So server is basically a combination of 5 things. That is compute, memory, storage, database, and network. Just to grab your attention once again, compute, memory, storage, database, and network. Okay, talking about compute. Compute is CPU. CPU doing the little bit of calculations and manipulations. Talking about memory, memory is like RAM, storage and retrieval of data. Okay, now storage of data takes place in the form of files. Okay, and if that data we want to store, we want it in a structured format, we take the database. Okay, and then talking about network. Network is a combination of 3 things. Network is a combination of switch, router, and DNS. Just to grab your attention once again, switch, router, and DNS. There might be people in the crowd जिनको शायद ये भी नहीं पता होगा कि ये 3 क्या होता है. So I'm not even leaving that bit. A router is a networking device जो आपके पैकेट्स को लेता है, डेटा पैकेट्स का ट्रांसफर लेता है, होता है बिटवीन कंप्यूटर एंड नेटवर्क. जो ये ट्रांसफर हो रहा था नेटवर्क से सर्वर पे, दिस इज हैपनिंग विद द हेल्प ऑफ अ राउटर. और जो दूसरी बात हुई थी वो थी स्विच की। तो स्विच क्या होता है, जो हमारे पास डेटा पैकेट्स कलेक्ट हुए उनका रियल ट्रांसफर उस जगह होना जहां पे वो नीडेड है, जहां पे उसकी जरूरत है। तो ट्रांसफर फ्रॉम सर्वर टू नेटवर्क इज डन विद द हेल्प ऑफ स्विच। नाउ दो चीजें हो गई, स्विच हो गया, हमारा राउटर हो गया। अब एक क्वेश्चन आता है कि व्हाट इज डीएनएस? डीएनएस इज डोमेन नेम सर्वर। ओके, नाउ डोमेन नेम सर्वर इज यूज्ड फॉर ट्रांसलेशन। जो हमारा ह्यूमन रीडेबल एड्रेस होता है उसका ट्रांसलेशन टू आईपी एड्रेस सो दैट इट बिकम्स स्विफ्ट, उसके लिए वी यूज डीएनएस। So just to give you that sum up, what was it? Compute, that is CPU, memory, that is RAM, storage in the form of files, structured storage can be in the form of database, and network. Yes, you got that right. It's router, DNS, and switch. And just to grab your attention once again, server is basically the combination of compute, memory, and network. And when I do this and I say grabbing your attention, please pay attention, because definitely there's something at the end of the video, which is of this live stream, which is waiting for you. So please pay attention when I do this. Okay, so it's compute, memory, and network. Moving up ahead. Traditionally, how to build infrastructure is the question. ट्रेडिशनली हमारा आईटी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बिल्डअप कैसे हुआ था? इट स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम अ होम एंड गैराज, होम या गैराज, जहां पे हमने सर्वर्स को लाके उनको स्टैक कर दिया। नाउ व्हेन दैट वाज डन, जैसे जैसे हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट्स बढ़ेंगी, हमारे सर्वर्स बढ़ेंगे, वी विल डेफिनेटली स्केल, मूव टू अ ऑफिस जहां पे हम डेटा सेंटर्स एलोकेट करेंगे। नाउ डेटा सेंटर्स क्या होते हैं? डेटा सेंटर्स आर रोज, लाइक बिग रूम्स जहां पे सर्वर्स स्टैक्ड होते हैं। और अगर आप विजुअलाइज कर पा रहे हैं, बड़ी बड़ी रोज जहाँ पे ब्लू ब्लू कलर की लाइट्स होती हैं, जहाँ पे हमारे डेटा सर्वर्स रखे रहते हैं, so you actually know what I'm talking about, and I'm talking about something like this, maybe this. These are huge racks. These are data centers in every organization जहाँ पे हमारा data stacked होता है. Now, just a quick info bit. Google was started from a garage, and today we are here having a session over it. So yeah, moving up ahead, what was the problem with this approach that we are looking for an alternative? What were the problems that were faced by this traditional IT approach? The first thing was pay for the rent of the data center. Definitely, if you are maintaining these huge stacks in a room, you need to pay the rent. पहली चीज। दूसरी चीज that existed was pay for power supply, cooling and maintenance. So definitely, like अगर बहुत सारे servers रखे हुए हैं, so they will generate heat, उनकी cooling का price, उनको maintain करने का price, और power supply 24/7 चाहिए होगी to keep the data intact in those servers. We need to pay for these things. Adding and replacing the hardware, this also takes time. It is not as easy as replacing a book from a bookshelf. Okay, you need to like put up a whole system to replace that one server, which takes time and efforts too. It is not easy for you to do that, and scaling is limited. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आप बढ़ा दीजिए घटा दीजिए just at the ease. It takes lots of efforts to do that. Now, and definitely you need to hire a team to monitor it 24/7. You need to be very well upgraded with what's happening. आपको छोटी छोटी चीजों पे checks लगाने पड़ेंगे. So that for that you need to hire a team. And what if there's a disaster? God forbid, landslides, earthquakes, I don't know, etc., etc. So how are you going to deal with that? How are you going to actually keep your data safe from these things? Uh, because prevention of data is the main thing we are looking forward to. So is there a solution? Is there any method by which we can externalize this? The whole process, can this be externalized? To that, I'll answer this little black logo that's coming here. Yes, cloud. Cloud computing. To solve the problems with the traditional IT approach, to get over these huge racks, to solve that problems, we study cloud computing, and I guess that was a revolution to this, that cloud was brought forward. So answering your why. Firstly, I promised I answered your why. Now, since the why has been answered, we move forward to the next question, that is what? After why comes what? What is cloud computing? So jumping on to directly what is cloud computing. क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग इज, अगर एक नॉर्मल सी एक सिंपल डेफिनेशन में स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड आपको मैं बताऊं तो क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग इज द डिलीवरी ऑफ ऑन डिमांड कंप्यूटर पावर, डेटाबेस स्टोरेज, एप्लीकेशंस एंड अदर आईटी रिसोर्स। हम अपने क्लाउड वेंडर, क्लाउड सर्विस प्रोवाइडर से कुछ सर्विसेज, डेटाबेस स्टोरेज, एप्लीकेशन, डिप्लॉयमेंट, इन सब चीज़ों की डिमांड करते हैं और वो डिमांड करने पे हमको वो सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड की जाती हैं। This is cloud computing. Moving up ahead, we go with pay-as-you-go pricing through cloud services. This is the biggest point. ये economically कितना viable है? Because earlier जो extra costs हमें pay करने पड़ रहे थे just for the maintenance, वो सारे cut down होके केवल एक चीज पे आके रुकते हैं, the services you are using and how much you are going to pay for them. Okay, now access to as many resources as you need almost instantly. You can access n number of resources, the resources you need with a snip of your fingers. It's very easy to access the resources and use them. So this is what is cloud computing. Now, what were the problems that were solved from the traditional approach to moving to cloud computing? So discussing that, the problems solved by cloud. Firstly, the problem solved by cloud mentioned is flexibility. Okay, so you can change the resources you are using. You can add them, you can remove them, you can use them when you need, smoothly as it can go. So cloud provides you that flexibility to go with it. Talking about cost effectiveness, definitely it is cost effective because it works on the principle of pay as you go pricing. If you see here, we had to pay for the rent of the data center, pay for the power supply, cooling, maintenance, and a lot of teams. Like if you definitely hire a team to monitor them, you also need to pay to them. So all of that just cut down to what you are using. You just need to pay for that. Talking about scalability, you can accommodate larger loads by making hardware stronger or by adding additional nodes. This is the meaning of scalability. आप कितनी easily अपनी limited resources को scale कर सकते हैं by just the addition of nodes or by making your hardware stronger, and that too happens very smoothly. जो आपका traditional structure था, जहाँ पर आपको पूरा एक traditional process follow करना पड़ रहा है उसको निकालने का, then वापस लगाने का, and you don't even know if that's going to work or not. But with scalability, you have that option cleared out for you. Moving up ahead, the second point that we are covering is elasticity. Now, elasticity is the ability or the ease with which you scale in and scale out. आप अपनी resources को कितना easily मिला सकते हैं, that is scale in कर सकते हैं या scale out कर सकते हैं, remove कर सकते हैं. That is elasticity. So with scalability comes elasticity. Now, talking about the high availability and tolerance, the resources which were not available or not that proficient are now easily available. The faults earlier which were not allowed or which were not, which could have created havocs, like suppose disasters आए तो आपका data centers अगर खत्म हुए तो आपका data finish होने के chances थे, that fault tolerance increase हो गया. You can easily maintain your data now. So that is provided by cloud. Talking about agility. Agility comes from the word agile, and agile means speed. Agility comes from agile, and agile means speed. So, which means you can rapidly build, test, and deploy your software. You can easily launch your software application with speed. So the traditional IT approach से जब हमने cloud पे switch किया, जब हमने why से what पे switch किया, तो हमें ये सारी problem solve होती हुई दिखाई दी. Now, moving up ahead, just to give you a very familiar feeling, आप already use कर रहे हैं cloud. Cloud is being used in our day-to-day lives, and we just don't know that. Like suppose Gmail. Gmail is providing you the storage option in your day-to-day lives. Dropbox, also the storage option. Netflix, जो हम सब लोग देखते हैं, that is video on demand service. All these already use cloud and you might not be knowing the coding part or the actual deployment or how that is working, but you know that, but you are already using it. So that's the miracle. Now, talking about the features of cloud computing. So फीचर्स, जो हमारी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हुई हैं वही प्रॉब्लम्स हमारी फीचर्स बन जाती हैं और वही फीचर्स हमारी टर्न हो जाती हैं एडवांटेजेस में. ओके, नाउ फीचर्स ऑफ क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग. फर्स्टली इलास्टिसिटी, जिस पे हम बात कर चुके हैं. इलास्टिसिटी इज द ability with ease to scale in and scale out your services. Cost efficiency, how efficiently you are doing it. Pay as you go per pricing model. आपको एडिशनल चार्जेस देने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, आप जो यूज करेंगे उसके लिए आप पे करेंगे. फास्टर डिप्लॉयमेंट, डेफिनेटली यस. नाउ अर्लियर इफ आई एम सिटिंग इन AP South 1 and I want to deploy a service in Northeast, or like these are availability zones, like suppose I'm sitting in Mumbai and I want to deploy a service in Northwest. So that's not very easy. That takes a process for you to deploy that. But with cloud computing, you can just easily deploy your service, your software with the help of cloud, a medium, a network. आप easily वो चीज कर सकते हैं sitting at your availability. So that leads you to faster deployment. Talking about agility, we will come across this point a lot because it has solved a major problem. Agility comes from the word agile. Agile is faster. So faster deployment, faster usage, faster code deployment. That's it. Now going global in minutes. Earlier, earlier the things that were with you, now with just a snap of your fingers, they can be uploaded and it can go global in minutes. So that's the biggest advantages you have. Moving up ahead, types of cloud computing. Okay, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Okay, firstly, infrastructure as a service. So infrastructure as a service, this is the building block. यहाँ पे आप नेटवर्किंग, कंप्यूटर, डेटा स्टोरेज स्पेस एंड अंडरलाइंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को आप मैनेज कर रहे हो. इट इज हाईली फ्लेक्सिबल. ये एक अपग्रेडेशन है ऑन प्रेमाइस में. जहां पे ऑन प्रेमाइस में आप सब कुछ मैनेज कर रहे थे, वहां पे केवल आप अपने आप को रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर देते हैं मैनेज करने के लिए नेटवर्किंग, कंप्यूटर, डेटा स्टोरेज एंड द अंडरलाइंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. ओके, नाउ मूविंग अप टू प्लेटफॉर्म एज अ सर्विस. For platform as a service, there's no need for you to manage the underlying structure even. जो चीज यहाँ पे थी वो आपको यहाँ पे नहीं करनी. यहाँ पे you just need to focus on the deployment and the management. Rest of your headache is gone to the service provider. Okay, now talking about software as a service. Product run and managed by the service provider. You just need to give them the finished product, the management, the running, everything is managed by a service provider. That headache also is removed from you. Now, talking about the thing is virtually understanding it with the help of an example or diagrammatically makes it easier. So I have next slide for you as that. Now, as I said, here the gray dots tell you the things that are managed by the user, and the blue dots tell you the things that are managed by the vendor. Okay, so so on premise में आपको A to Z सब कुछ मैनेज करना है. Okay, like application, data, runtime, middleware, operating system, virtualization, servers, storage, networking, etc. Everything is being managed by you on premise. And when you shifted from this approach to infrastructure as a service, आपको केवल the virtualization, server, storage and networking part, ये जितना भी डिप्लॉयमेंट रिलेटेड स्टफ था, ये आपको मैनेज नहीं करना पड़ा. दिस इज नाउ द हेडेक ऑफ द क्लाउड वेंडर, योर क्लाउड सर्विस प्रोवाइडर. मूविंग अप अहेड टू प्लेटफॉर्म एज अ सर्विस. यहाँ पे ओनली द अबव टू विल बी मैनेज्ड. द एप्लीकेशन एंड डेटा इज मैनेज्ड बाय यू. ऑल द डिप्लॉयमेंट स्टफ, everything else related to it is managed by the vendor. And talking about software as a service, you don't need to do anything. You just need to give them the finished product and they will easily host it. So that is the advantage. Now, जैसे कि मैंने बोला, real life example, so I'll definitely, I'm not leaving you on that part. Let's talk about food. Okay, like suppose if I talk about on premise का अगर मैं example दूँ, you went to the shop, you got the groceries, you came back, you cut them, you boiled them, you made vegetables, you make you made the food. Okay. And apart from making the food, you need to look after the dining arrangements. आपको हर एक ambience से लेके from A to Z आपको हर चीज देखनी पड़े. So that is on premise. When I talk about infrastructure as a service में आप बाहर गए and you bought the sandwich paste. So you came back, you have got the raw materials, you just need to put them in bread and you need to have it. Okay. And but you still need to manage that dining part, that ambience part, that filled glasses. Everything needs to be still managed by you. Now, if I talk about platform as a service, you opened your phone and you ordered from Zomato. You have it delivered. You will just get it from below and you will have the food. But still, you need to check about the dining part that's left with. And when I talk about software as a service, you all are smart enough. You might have guessed what I'm going to tell you, but I'll still do that. Okay. So software as a service, you just go and dine out. You take your car, you go for a ride, you go dine out. You'll sit there, you will have food. You don't need to worry about the dining part or the drinking part or anything else. So that is software as a service. And I hope I was able to make my point clear. Moving up ahead. Example of cloud computing types. Infrastructure as a service में अगर हम example दें तो it is Google Cloud and one more recently that was going on Hacktoberfest जिसमें I'm sure बहुत लोगों ने part लिया होगा. It was a huge buzz around the campus related to that. And if you guys have a little idea who hosted that, yes, you are getting there. Yes, you got that right. It's DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean as a platform is also infrastructure as a service. Okay. Platform as a service is Heroku. This is a website deployment platform. This is also functions under the tag of platform as a service. Talking about software as a service, Zoom meeting platform. Everything you just need to use the service. Rest everything is managed by them. So these were the examples of cloud computing types. Moving up ahead, just a second. Moving up ahead, deployment models of cloud. 3 deployment models of cloud: private, public, and hybrid. Okay. So if you have anyone viewing this video or might view it, if you have general idea about the access specifiers used in Java, Python, and stuff, you will grasp it very easily. And even if not, as I said, it's a beginner friendly course. I'll make sure that you understand that. So private cloud, public, and hybrid. Private cloud, as the name suggests you, it's restricted. The cloud services are used by a single organization and they are not exposed to public. Okay, like was the case of access specifier. आपने अगर एक function या एक variable को private assign किया, तो वो उस particular scope के बाहर use नहीं हो सकता. So that is what we mean when we refer to private cloud. You get the complete control, check. You have security for sensitive application, check. And it also meets your specific business needs, check. Moving to public cloud. जैसे हमारे access specifier public होता था, so it could be used by all like the whole class. Okay, so public cloud the cloud resources are actually owned by the third party, and you just use those resources. Okay, like third party cloud service provider are delivering those resources to you over a medium that is internet. Okay, definitely there's increased speed and agility, and you can go global in minutes. Now we come to the point of hybrid cloud. Now, hybrid cloud is the cheese sliced between 2 pieces of bread, that is private cloud and public cloud. Okay, so hybrid cloud is the mix of both worlds, that is private and public intersected. Now, hybrid may you can enjoy the policies of private as well as enjoying the speed and agility of public cloud. You can keep some servers on premise and extend some of the capabilities of the cloud to the cloud. Okay, like you can have control over the sensitive information, and at the same time, as I said, you can enjoy the flexibility and cost effectiveness of the public cloud. Okay, so I hope I have made a valid point there. Moving up ahead are the advantages of cloud. Now, pay on demand. As we have discussed earlier, and we come across this yet again, the problems solved by the cloud are actually the features and they become the advantages. So pay on demand. You don't own the hardware. You don't own the rack shelves which we just saw. You don't own it. You are just paying for the hardware you are using. Okay. Now, reduced total cost of ownership and operational expense. Okay. You don't own the servers. You don't need to worry for the operational expense कि अगर ये खराब हो रहा है तो मुझे इसमें क्या करना है. You are just have a short window जिसमें से आप resources को use कर रहे हैं और जैसे जैसे आप यूज कर रहे हैं आप उसके लिए पे करते जा रहे हैं. So this is cost effective. Now, scale based on actual measured usage. Now, whatever you are using, whatever resource you are using is actually being measured on a scaled basis. आप उसको measure कर रहे हैं, आप उसे track कर रहे हैं और जैसे जैसे आप track करते जा रहे हैं, accordingly on that basis you pay. So that is the whole thing. Moving towards increased speed and agility, we have come over this point, I guess, now 3 times. And this is very important from the traditional model. That's why we are coming across this so many times. Agility, as I'll again say now, if from this session you learn anything or not, but you're definitely adding one word to your vocabulary, that is agility. Agility is agile, and from agile we mean speed. So there's an increased speed. Moving up ahead, there's no need to spend money on running and maintaining the data servers. Okay, you're not running, you're not maintaining the data centers, you're not actually stacking those servers, you're not looking after the wear and tear, you're just hosting your resources. Now, you can go global in minutes. We have discussed it. Point sitting from AP South 1, I can host this in Northeast 1, which is very easy for me. In the availability zones, I can easily switch. Now we're done with the advantages of cloud. Now moving ahead with the disadvantages of cloud. A coin has two sides. I have discussed the brighter side. Now I'm coming up to this side. Disadvantages of cloud. You have very limited control over the infrastructure. Yes. How? Because you are completely dependent on your service provider. जो छोटी सी खिड़की आपको आपका सर्विस प्रोवाइडर खोल के दे रहा है कि आपको इसी से देखना है. You're just able to see the world from that. You don't know actually how it's working. You're just using the resources, and so you get very less control of the resources you are using. You have very limited control over the infrastructure. That's why we use cloud, and that is a disadvantage also. Now, vendor lock-in. This is I have figured out the biggest problem जिसकी वजह से लोग क्लाउड से भागते हैं. So vendor lock-in actually होता क्या है? You become very vendor specific. Like you get dependent on the vendor you are using. आप जो service provider use कर रहे हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि how to tell this to you? Okay. See, I'm not going to name any service provider, but there are service providers giving you services of pipeline or elasticity or deployment. So it is like when you switch to some other service provider, you need to start from the base. Okay. और वो चीज कहीं ना कहीं एक हिंड्रेंस क्रिएट करती है. तो वेंडर लॉक इन का इशू बहुत ज्यादा होता है, बट इट डजंट मीन कि इसे सॉल्व करना इम्पॉसिबल है. इसे सॉल्व करना रियली it's possible. It's just that you need to be very cautious of the thing you are actually going for cloud. If you are having a startup, आप उसको देख के अपनी नीड्स लीजिए कि मतलब कैसे आई कैन स्केल इट इन फ्यूचर अगर मुझे चेंज करना होगा तो. So that could be a point. And the next point जो कि थोड़ा सा इंपॉर्टेंस रखता है, that is security. Now, you have your data store. Okay, and there might be a possible case like, okay, you will definitely have that point in the mind कि यार मैंने data store किया and I've also signed the SLA. But there can be a small possibility in future कि जो आप कि आपका डेटा किसी ना किसी loophole से leak out हो जाए. So that could create a big problem. तो security का एक issue होता है. But I guess the number of advantages and disadvantages, yeah, they are balanced, and definitely things like these exist. Now, talking about the cloud vendors or the cloud providers that are available around. मैंने शायद जितने stack किए हैं, जितने मेरे दिमाग में आए, मैंने वो लिखे. इससे ज़्यादा भी हो सकते हैं, definitely. But the most popular ones I have stacked in, that is Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, Oracle Cloud, IBM Cloud, Salesforce, Alibaba Cloud, etc., etc. Now, talking about कि yeah, definitely any of the vendors you can stick to. और जो एक question बहुत ज़्यादा सबके दिमाग में रहता है, and that question is not only related to cloud. मैंने वो चीज़ काफ़ी constant देखी है when it comes to DSA also. So I just wanted to clear out this thing before we actually move to the hands-on part. Key, like for the DSA, I have a very basic question. First, let me get to the question. Actually, that would make it easier for you. Which cloud vendor should we use? यही क्वेश्चन मेरे पास डीएसए में सब लोगों के दिमाग में होता है कि कौन सा प्लेटफॉर्म यूज करें कोडिंग के लिए, क्या हम हैकर रैंक पे स्टिक करें या लीड कोड चले जाएं या गीक्स टू गीक्स चले जाएं या कोड फोर्सेस कर लें, कोड शेफ कर लें. तो जो आंसर मैं उसका देती हूँ, मैं वो सेम आंसर यहाँ करना चाहूँ. जो आंसर उसका रहता है दैट यू डोंट लर्न अ पर्टिकुलर कोडिंग प्लेटफॉर्म, यू लर्न हाउ टू कोड, यू प्रैक्टिस हाउ टू कोड, you get the concepts, you get your mind working into that. That's the same scenario with which cloud vendor should we use. You don't learn a cloud vendor, you don't learn a cloud service, you learn cloud on a whole. You learn cloud because the terminologies, the certifications, the concepts, everything remains similar across all the platforms. Okay, the features will remain the same, the services will remain the same, everything will remain constant. अब बात यह है कि जब ये इतना कांस्टेंट है ही तो इतने सारे बनाए क्यों? तो जो एक चीज का डिफरेंस आता है जनरली, लाइक आई हैव सीन दैट इन स्टूडेंट्स, जिस चीज का हम लोग बहुत ध्यान रखते हैं वो होता है कॉस्ट फैक्टर. ठीक है, नाउ इफ दैट कॉस्ट फैक्टर इज सॉरी इफ दैट कॉस्ट फैक्टर, तो हम लोग ये देखते हैं कि जो है कितनी सारी रिसोर्सेज हम यूज कर पा रहे हैं विद इन अ फ्री टीयर. ओके, हम कितनी सारी रिसोर्सेज, कौन सी रिसोर्स कितना कॉस्ट कर रही है, क्या प्राइस आ रहा है, उसको हम कितना यूज कर पा रहे हैं. So that comes under this cost wala part. And apart from that cost wala part, there's one thing which the problem which we discussed, which I focus on once again, that is vendor lock-in. Okay, now talking about vendor lock-in, वेंडर लॉक इन क्या होता है, वही मैंने आपको बताया वेंडर लॉक इन क्या होता है. तो बस उस चीज का आपको ध्यान रखना है. व्हेनेवर यू चूज योर क्लाउड वेंडर, यू शुड बी स्पेसिफिक अबाउट 2 पॉइंट्स, दैट इज द कॉस्ट, पहली चीज, और दूसरा वेंडर लॉक इन. आप कौन सी सर्विस यूज कर रहे हैं और कितना आप उसे स्केल कर सकते हैं. If you have these 2 points in your mind, your questions are answered. Okay, now apart from that, if I say, yeah, talking about myself, I love AWS. Like I have been practicing, I have been using AWS for quite a lot of time now, and I'm very comfortable with AWS. You need to choose which platform suits you well. That depends on you. So that is a question I'll leave to be answered by you. Now, definitely, thank you so much for joining the session. I'll say thank you, but please don't leave. As I said when I used to snip fingers, that there's something waiting for you at the end. So there's a virtual cloud quiz where I actually need to test how active you were in the session. So I guess in your WhatsApp groups, this link will be forwarded, and you can definitely join by this thing. Let me just ask Rajwal to do that. Rajwal, am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, so can we have the cloud session now?
Yeah, surely we'll be having the quiz right now, and the links would also be shared on the group. And apart from that, you can also join from this thing which is visible on your screens. So I just
Yeah, the slide which is visible. And there's a request, आप लोग please अपने असली नाम से join in करिएगा, because if you join from your real name, we will be giving shout outs, और जो जीतेगा उसको GDSC certificates भी मिलेंगे. Right now maybe there would be e-certificates, and in future if we have offline events, हम लोग आपको offline certificates देंगे. So please join in, and आप हमें DM करिएगा so that we can give you the shout outs. So please join as fast as possible.
yeah, let's wait for
Okay,
them to
so
join so that Sonakshi,
so
you can hand
Prajwal,
it over to me and I can share my
yeah.
screen.
Yeah, okay. I'm stopping the share. I guess that has worked out.
I guess my screen is visible right now.
Yes.
Great.
So, yeah, perfectly visible. Are people joining right now? Okay, you need to wait. Should we post this in the YouTube as well? YouTube पे भी कर दे? मैं कर दूँ?
Yeah, surely go ahead with that.
Okay, I'm doing. I'm just doing. I just got a message, Prajwal. People are facing issues regarding this. If it's not working, like if it's not starting till 45, I'll wind this up because 2-3 people are saying they're facing issues regarding. 45, I'll wind this up because yeah, that was a loud
That's
noise.
okay, but it should be working. I guess Sonakshi, just try joining it if it is possible.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Try joining in. Guys, you just need to go to this website, joinmyquiz.com, and just put the code mentioned there. That's all. You don't need to create your account or something.
Yeah, that's just you need to sign. There are connectivity issues, I guess.
Maybe.
I got another message. Yeah, people are not able to join. So what should we do?
I
It's
guess there's some.
like I should. No, you should wait
I
3
guess we
minutes
had a
if we
meeting.
get response. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just wait for 2 seconds more if this happening. That's fine. Else, yeah, we can wind up. Then there might be some glitch or something.
Maybe we can wind this up.
Let's just wait for 2 minutes. Try refreshing the screen because people are asking questions and I'm not able to. Prajwal, 34 are already joined. Start the quiz. Okay. This is my favorite part of every session. doing pretty well. Leaderboard, first is Suraj Shukla, second is Jordis. We requested you to come from your original name. अब मैं Jordis कैसे ढूंढूंगी? What is the leaderboard situation right now? Oh damn. Suraj Abhishek. Like, we have real names. This will be, I guess, सबका correct होगा ये. बहुत basic रखा था मैंने. The people who have paid attention on the snips, they are definitely gonna win. Okay, Shyan Singh on number 4. Impressive. Suraj is showing epic consistency. Like, I haven't seen anyone defeat Suraj, so I guess he's taking away the first certificate. or a gold medal for that matter of fact. Oh, Suraj has already taken a leap ahead, so I guess we know the first winner unless the two questions decide the fate. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, so this is the last question, I guess, or second last. People on fourth can try to come on third. That could be a motivation, I guess. Okay, really the vote remains the same. This is the last question. I guess Suraj has won the gold medal. Let's see for the next two. Okay. So we are finally done with the quiz. And who are the three winners we have? Can we know the names, please? So we can give them a shout out. Do we have that? Is that okay? Wonderful. Congratulations, Mr. Suraj Shukla, for securing the first position, Prerna Pal for the second position, and Abhishek S for the third position. You all will be getting your certificates or medals at the end of the like whenever we meet offline, we have the next event. And yeah, so now I'll open the room for questions, if any. Like the last 4 minutes are there for you to have a Q&A. Meanwhile, I'd like to thank you all, especially the team of GDSC UCR and everyone who made that extra attempt so that I could host this event today, even when I was not well. So thank you so much. And all those who joined and and paid attention and heard everything. That was indeed very supportive of you. Thank you so much. And if you don't like, happens many times that you're not able to ask questions on the spot, you can, I'm pretty active on Twitter and LinkedIn. You can always ping me there and ask questions, anything related to the stuff I know. I'd be very happy to be contributing to your journey. And anywhere in college you spot me, you can stop and ask questions. I love to talk. So yeah, still we have 3 minutes. If we can, if you have any questions, or we'll wind up and we'll wait for the next session, that which I am pretty excited for, that is the hands-on part. So I guess I was able to grasp or take you all with me on the beginner level so that we can actually move forward at a higher level. That's what, are you commenting from GDSC UCER? Or who's this? Cool. Sadly, Aman sir was not able to join today due to some reasons. So yeah, a big thank you for him also for motivating and actually, helping me host this session today. And yeah, for everyone's efforts too. I'm indeed very thankful. 2 minutes more and then we can wind up. And I hope we get a hands-on session. Yeah, thank you, Abhishek. Surely I'll try to do more sessions. I want to do more sessions. And definitely that the coming up ahead would be hands-on. There are n number of services I am learning cloud, but whatever I have learned, if those services I can discuss, I can actually show you how that's working. That would be a great pleasure for me. So I hope I hold more sessions. I'm looking forward to that too, and thank you for that coming. So yeah, I guess thank you everyone. Thank you Saurabh. Thank you Abhishek. Thank you Akshat. Thank you Mohammad Anas. Thank you Shriyans. And thank you Harshit. Thank you Naveen. Thank you Akshat. Everyone who I have seen, who I seen the comments. Thank you for commenting, and a big thank you for everyone who had joined, and a big thank you for all the people who played the quiz. A very interesting name that I came across in the quiz was, I guess, Jordis, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, that was a very interesting name. If Jiska bhi ho, please ping me up. I want to know the meaning of that. So yeah, with that, I'll wind up this session. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope we see you in future with more such sessions. And thank you for the cooperation and support. Prajwal, I guess we can wind up.